Good morning and welcome to Speaking of Gas. This is a weekly look at what matters to you, the owners of oil and gas rights in Pennsylvania. This week, I'm going to do something a little different. We have a big event in Pennsylvania, the only one of its kind for people who own oil and gas rights, and it's the Pennsylvania Oil and Gas Landowner Alliance annual meeting and conference. This is coming up April 28th and 30th. So I thought I would give you a little summary of what our conference is about and make you maybe think about attending and joining us there. This year, our theme is called A Clear Vision, and it's empowering royalty owners through knowledge. And we're going to hold it, as I said, April 28th and 30th through the 30th at the Penn State or in State College. We've always held our state conference there. It's a nice central location. We've been at two different venues, the Ramada and the Wyndham, but this year we're going to be at the Penn State. It's a new venue. It's very close to the stadium. Nice venue, and I really look forward to holding the event there. So what is our conference about, and why might you want to go? This is a great education opportunity, whether you're leased, waiting to lease, already collecting royalties, waiting for a well to come on production, getting a well pad. Wherever you are in that process. This is a long-term process with owning oil and gas rights in Pennsylvania. And there's things to learn all along the way. This will be our 11th annual conference. And I remember when we did the first one, actually that was at Toft Trees in State College way back in 2011. And after the conference, some people said, well, I wonder if there'll be enough content to have this every year. Well, there's never any shortage of content in this game. So, just a second. Okay, so this is about learning about what you don't know. And I'm going to say that if you aren't leased yet, and I know that we have people who are maybe on the verge of leasing, you really have the most to gain by being part of this, because you'll learn a lot of things that you can avoid those mistakes. Any of us that have leased over the course of this have something they've done that they wish they'd done differently. And so, I started with attending events in Narrow in 2008 and learned a tremendous amount there. And wherever I've gone to a conference, I've come away with new information. Some of it's things I learned in time to do something about. And many times it was just, well, geez, I wish I'd done that. But then I also work as a consultant, so I'm still able to put that to good use. And, there's lots of opportunities to learn here. It's not just the speakers, it's also from the other people who attend, other landowners. And I think, if you see our logo for the event, which is a word cloud, I thought that this was a really good way to look at our conference. Like, is there anything in that word cloud that you don't know enough about? Do you understand your unit declaration? Do you know about the different formations, the Utica formation? Do you know what a stacked play is? Do you know what spud means? What's a pew clause? What's a regulatory and active permit? Do you know how to calculate your decimal interest? Do you understand what a lateral is, and maybe about the new technology in those extended laterals? Is estate planning something you've been putting off? There's a lot of things to know about estate planning that are very specific to owning oil and gas, and so it's important to learn about that. And sometimes from different perspectives before you actually do it. Point of sale, million cubic feet per day, MCF, all kinds of things to learn about. And, learning more about these, I think the biggest thing that it can do for you in this very complicated business is to build realistic expectations in what this is going to mean to you. My clients are often looking for information about, okay, I'm getting royalties, so what can I expect going forward? Well, I can never tell them what the next royalty check is going to be or if it's going to be, but I can show people what typical decline curves look like on similar wells. And so what the expectation going forward is, what the fluctuations in price have looked like over the last, how many years have we been at this? I guess 2008 was really the big push in the beginning of production. So we're 15 years out there, 16 years out there. So learning what the process is, understanding what to expect going forward can be very helpful. Our attendees return year after year. I have never, ever had someone say that was a complete waste. That was a waste. Even just say something was a waste of their time. We have had split sessions in the past, and we won't this year, but usually the comments on that is that people aren't thrilled with them because then they have to miss one of the sessions, and they have to do a lot of planning, make sure that, if they're there as a couple, that they each get to all the sessions. So people that come back year after year. Sometimes the trick is getting you there the first time. And I'll go over a little bit what our schedule looks like and what to expect from the time you get there. Let's see, bring up our registration form. Okay, this is kind of the agenda, and this has kind of stayed the same every year, basic format. So we actually start on Sunday, and at 3:00 we have a board meeting. So POGLA is governed by an elected board of directors, and we have an in-person board meeting, and all members are not only welcome to attend, but encouraged to attend. And that's to actually see the decision-making process. And I'll mention that, I was president for 8 years, and whenever people came and sat in on the board meeting, they were impressed with the amount of work that the board does, the seriousness of it, what we're actually doing on your behalf, because not only are we organizing these meetings, which have been, we've had less than normal because of the pandemic, but not only are we educating our people, but we're also very active in Harrisburg. And that's about introducing and pushing for legislation to be helpful. Currently, we'll talk about the depletion allowance bill, but also watching for legislation that might be harmful to you as a landowner. Not everything that's good for industry is good for you. We want to encourage development, but we also want to protect our rights in this process. And then following the board meeting at 6 p.m., we have a roundtable discussion this year over a tailgate or barbecue. And this will be attended by our lobbyist in Harrisburg, Dr. Misi Baker from Versant Strategies. And so in particular, we'll get some insight on current legislation. But then it's also a great informal opportunity for people to ask questions, talk about what's happening in the Southeast, the Northeast, what they're seeing on the royalty checks, answering sometimes tough questions. Maybe you get an answer, maybe you don't. But certainly if somebody doesn't have an answer, we'll have one either before the end of the conference or sometime down the road. Or maybe an issue arises that we need to pay attention to as an organization. Then on Monday morning, the meat of things actually starts, and at 9 o'clock, we'll have our annual meeting. So every year we talk about what the organization is doing in a formal presentation that's required in our bylaws for the members. Takes about an hour. Again, an opportunity to ask any questions about things relevant to the organization. And then we're going to have 2 full days of education sessions. And I throw the word networking around a lot. That's a very important part of what we do. You know, if you're not someone in the business world, maybe networking is something a term you don't talk about or throw around. Maybe it even annoys you, but other words for it would be mingling, relating, grousing, discussing, and discovering. But all that can be done through our break sessions, our lunch buffets, our banquets. It's an opportunity to interact with our speakers and with other landowners, with board members, whatever expertise is in the room. You know, a lot of times people find resources at these meetings. They need to hire an attorney. They need to have a tax question answered. These are all the kinds of things that you can benefit from in both the formal and informal parts of this. And so we'll have your meals are all included in this. That's a tailgate or barbecue, 2 lunch buffets. And then on Monday evening, after our last speaker, there is a dinner at 6:30, and those are always very lively events. It's a buffet dinner, and people move around and a lot of interaction. And then we do have a special reception for our sustaining members, and that will be held at 5:30, where you can meet with some special invited guests. And those are you can look that up on our website if you're a charter member or making a large donation to our our stand-up campaign. That's an opportunity that's available. And then Tuesday morning, we'll start right in at, this says 8 o'clock, but it's actually 9 o'clock with education sessions again and networking breaks. And I just want to say that, you know, I think if it's new to you, you might think that you have to think about this a lot, but it's never a waste of your time and money. It's an investment in your assets, your oil and gas rights. Tomorrow, the 5th, is the cutoff for the early registration. But actually, in the next week, if you mention this video, I can hook you up with that early bird discount. So, but be sure and get a slot, get a hotel room at the Penn Stater. And this is also part of our registration form with all the information to do that. And then also, this is the registration form if you would like to print one out and send it back by mail with a check, that's fine. If you're not currently a member, the cost is $400 a person to attend. Remember, that includes all your meals, does not include your hotel room. If you're not a member, you can join for $50 more, have the benefit of a year's membership. And that includes, if you're bringing a spouse or a guest, that includes them as well. So you would pay $850 if there were 2 of you and a new membership. And these forms can all be found on our website. And let me open that and show you to be directed to our event page at POGLA. Hopefully many of you have taken a look at that, and here we go. There it is. Okay, this is our events page, and you can see the registration form is here that you can print. And then also you can go directly to a registration online here by clicking on this link, and you can pay by credit card. So, and this, there's a little map there that shows you how to get to the event. So I hope that you'll consider this. This is the only event in the state of Pennsylvania that is specifically for people who own oil and gas rights. So it's geared for landowners. It's to educate you, talk about the big picture. I guess I really didn't talk about topics, but we're going to hit on legal issues, oil and gas rights ownership, how to access data. There'll be a speaker on carbon sequestration and pore space, your basic management of rights, estate planning, new technology, Pennsylvania geology, pooling unitization. The topics are really kind of endless, and we'll have speakers to hone in specifically. And then through the discussion and mingling, networking, whatever you want to call it, you'll also be able to find a lot of valuable information from other people. So thank you for tuning in today. Today I am going to stop the recording, and then anyone who remains on the line and would like to ask questions, we can do that. So thanks for tuning in to Speaking of Gas, and we'll hopefully see you at the conference.